We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome to this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and today we are joined by one of our community members, Kristine Wilson. And I got to say, you can actually go way back in the archives and hear from Kristine before, when she was Kristine Dunham, right?
Yep.
So you can go back and listen in on there and compare and contrast what's going on now. So welcome. How are you?
I am good. Just been super busy. Other than that, been fabulous. So.
Tell everybody just a little bit about the generals, like who you are, what do you do with your time? People who, let us get to know you a little bit.
Let's see. So, I live in Tennessee. I've been, like you said, a community member for, oh God, how many years has it been now?
Lots.
It's been lots since you first started. It's been quite some time. I've shifted, I think I've shifted 2 jobs since the last time we talked. And now I work 12-hour shifts, God knows how many days. And when I'm off, I'm just sleeping and relaxing because I am so tired. But other than that, in the between, I was able to get a house, which is fabulous. And we got that last year. In between that time, I got married to my husband we've been together 9 years. We've only been married, now? Going on 2. And it's just been ups and downs and going with the flow. And I've just been busy with work pretty much. My muggle job is working for healthcare, a healthcare company. So I do that most of my time.
I would love to hear, sorry, I'm scooching around to get more comfortable. I would love to hear about how, because it sounds like, well, you've had a lot of changes in the last few years, and this job that you're working that takes up so much of your time. How do you bring some of the things that you've done here at the Sisters Enchanted or gone through, or just your own magical practices? How do you still incorporate that into your life, being that you work these crazy hours?
It is difficult. There are a few posts here and there where I say, I have no idea, like I'm at a loss. I'm so exhausted. I don't have time to do anything magical. But when you look at it if you break it down every single day, the way you talk, you interact with people, the little things you do, it's just those there can be just little magical things that you do that just keep you at your roots. And like on my drive to work, it's about 30-45 minutes. But now that I live in the country, I see deer all the time. And the other day I saw like 20 deer on the way. I was like, oh my gosh. So deer is one of my spirit animals. I had done one of those spirit animal meditations a few years ago, and deer was what came to me. So anytime I see a deer, I know that day is going to be extra special. And hey, if it's a 20 deer or 3 deer, I of course look at the number of the 3. For some reason, I'm obsessed with 3s. That has stuck with me. So with that, days where I pull a card, I just do some type of studying or just talking to Goddess. It ultimately keeps me connected. And there are times where I've been so lost and tired that it feels like I'm not there, but I am. And, sometimes your body just needs to recover. And the only way to do that is rest.
Yeah.
So even if you're not, creating spells and all that, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to be that, person who does spells 24/7. You just kind of go with the flow and do it as you see fit. And you need
Yeah.
it.
Well, since you started the program so long ago, it's interesting. It's so cool. It's so interesting to talk to you because you've had so many life changes. And then
Oh
at
yeah.
Sisters Enchanted, we've made a lot of changes too over the years.
Oh
And one of the things that we I don't know if you've really like listened in on it at all in this past, because it's been like maybe 9 months or so that we've been really talking about this, but we put together like stages of a cycle.
yeah.
And the first part is the intention stage. And that's where we really say like, just think and rest.
Mhm.
And I think that so often people who stumble upon us at the Sisters Enchanted, like you spoke to, feel like they just like they need to do all the things.
Mhm.
If you're not lighting the candles and doing the daily tarot reading and whatever, like who even are you? How can you be a
Yeah.
magical person? Because you must be missing something. And I think it's so interesting because people who follow, and a lot of our followers do have also a mainstream religion, but you think of people who like have a mainstream religion, I don't, for a lot of those people, I don't see people who are like, oh, like I didn't read my Bible today. So
Mhm.
I'm, like for them, it's like good enough to go to church on Sunday, like once a month and they've
Yeah.
got there. But I think it's because what we do is so visual, like you can
Mhm.
see the crystal grid, you can see the tarot
Mhm.
cards, and people share that online. And then you feel like if you're not doing it,
Mhm.
you're not
You're
like
lacking.
living magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that it is cool when because it was like a few months ago, I think, that your name popped up in the community group. And I like to myself internally was like waving hello to you because you've been, just in our community for so long.
Right.
And I love that even after all these years, you like come home again and ask your question.
Yep. I'm always there. I'm always in the background peeking. And whenever there's somebody who's a new member or something, I put in a few words of wisdom so that they don't feel like they're lost or alone. We've all been there. We've all done it. We all have those moments where it's just taking that moment to breathe, relax, and reconnect with yourself. It's all about, the focus is you and your health and your well-being, and people forget that doing
Yeah.
day-to-day things and Instagram and all that. It's not all accurate going on behind the scenes. So you kind of feel
No.
like you're completely lacking if you're not doing something that they're
Yeah.
doing. Like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. Just take your time. Learn. If you want to learn a bunch of stuff all at once, do what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. So it just
Yeah.
comes with time and patience and practice and wisdom.
So you live in the country, you said. So are you
Mhm.
like way removed from other things? Like you have to like drive a distance to the grocery store, or are you not that far removed?
Not that far. Our grocery store is about 6 minutes away, which is nice. And there's two in both directions. So one way or another, I'm not, but like we have all the restaurants we have near us are, fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's, all of that. We have three decent restaurants that could be considered somewhat healthy and upper class, which is Applebee's, O'Charlie's, if you're not familiar with that one, and Ruby Tuesday. So like during COVID and all that, like we ordered out, and where we used to live, we had hundreds of choices with like DoorDash, and now we have like three. And it's like, okay, what do I want this day? It's completely different. So if we wanted to go to like an actual restaurant, trying to think like Longhorn or Red Robin or something, it's about 30 minutes out of our way. We don't even have a Cracker Barrel near us. If you know Cracker Barrel, it's like 30 minutes away, the Cracker Barrel.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Okay, one of the things, I know that was a strange question to ask, but depending on your answer, I was going to go different places with this discussion. And so now I know where I'm going to go with it. One of the things I love about the Sisters Enchanted is that it brings people together who otherwise wouldn't be brought together.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I ask you that question and what you're telling me, that's so interesting to me, because where I live in Connecticut, I think we actually have to drive. We do have, right, we have a like a McDonald's, a Wendy's, and we have a Panera now, and that's new, a Panera bread. That's new to us in like the last 2 years. But we for us, we don't have any of those other chain restaurants within like a 30-minute drive anywhere. It's all like, like one person owned restaurants, not chains, all specific to the
mom and pop ones.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And there was tons of them. Like we have no end of options, but we don't have any chains around us. I think like 30 minutes, maybe that could be, I think we might have like a chain restaurant off the highway, maybe a little closer, maybe like 15 minutes, but to find like lots of options where there's like a bunch in a hub like that, that's like a 30-minute drive. And so I know that that has nothing to do with magic, but what I love about this conversation is it shows, I love about our community and you talking today with me is how you talk to people who live a life that, like, your answer was not what I would have expected, for us, if you say you live in the country, for like, even though we live in a densely populated area, we have like if you go, I live on the shoreline of Connecticut, and if you go inland, it's still technically the same town I live in. Like all the kids go to the same high school, but up inland about 20 minutes, those people, they do have to drive 20 minutes to get to a grocery store because they live like what we call the country. It's just up north. There's like not stuff there. They really have to like plan their day to go out and do all their things. Where I live 3 minutes from anything I could possibly need in every direction. And I love this because it just, again, bringing people together and reminding us that life looks different in all of these places, but we're not different. Like we have similar interests. We have similar beliefs about the world and life and some similar experiences, but then you take those and just put it in everybody's individual life and how different it does look. And I think that that's just a beautiful thing, that through community like this, you get to talk to people, even just hear from in a post, people that you never would have talked to or heard before, or like a thing about life you never would have considered, and how great that makes us all, that we have that expansiveness to talk to people outside of our normal like way. Like when you say we don't even have a Cracker Barrel, I'm like, neither do we. We don't have one anywhere. Like you say it like, and I'm like, is that normal to have a Cracker Barrel?
Well, where I used to live, there was like 2 near us. So
I've been to a Cracker Barrel.
So I think Cracker Barrel's more popular here than.
No, we have a big RV that it's a 5th wheel RV. So it goes like in the back of our truck, it hitches in and then we can drive it around. But Cracker Barrel lets RVers stay overnight in their parking lot for free. Like you can just stay. You can just pull over. I mean, you can't like camp there, but if you like pull in at 8 o'clock at night, leave at 8 in the morning, they're cool with that. So I know Cracker Barrel. Because they're really good to RVers. Anyway, I just thought that was a great moment of like just remembering how we all come together from the same thing. We love tarot, we love magical experiences, but we're all out there living different lives, so different, but we have this thread that brings us all together.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Think about what life would look like if you had the foundation to do the shadow work, understand where you're holding yourself back, and the confidence to bring some everyday magic elements into your life, follow your intuition, and know exactly the steps forward for you. Well, that's what we teach you and more in our Holistic Witchery program. Be sure to get on the wait list for Holistic Witchery. It's the one class we think everybody should take here at the Sisters Enchanted. It has changed so many lives and is at the core of all of our fundamental beliefs about who we are and how we propel ourselves forward in a way that makes great change for ourselves and those around us. Check out holisticwitchery.com, get on the wait list, and we can't wait to welcome you into class just as soon as enrollment opens. So, okay, tell me when you do have time for your magical things or you're feeling up to it, maybe it's a more energized time of like just your energetic cycle and you're like, I can do this today. What does everyday magic look like to you? What kinds of things do you do when you're in the zone and making space for some magical moments?
Usually when that happens, I'm catching up on classes because I'm so behind and I have so many classes, and then I sign up for more because I don't want to miss out. So I fill it with the classes and studying and really focusing on the questions you guys ask to kind of understand myself better, to grow more. And if it's not that, I'll be, making one of my products on the side, or just since I have a house, I'm trying to decorate. So trying to incorporate little things here and there that are subtle witchiness without being too much throughout the house. So, and decorating and all that. And that's been a blast actually. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the easiest ways to bring some magic into your everyday life, I think, is being intentional by creating your environment.
Mhm.
Even if it's just like a plant with maybe like a picture of something that you love next to it. And then you have the plant kind of growing the energy of that picture into your house, just
Mhm.
these intentional little placements, I think, are great ways to bring some everyday magic in, especially when you feel like tired and burnt and
Mhm.
you're like, I do
Yeah.
not have time to sit down and journal 4 pages and like,
I've never been a journaler. I've always tried and it just, I don't know what it is. I can't, like, I'll start it and then I'll be like stuck. It's like there's like a block or something. I can't, there's something there preventing me from doing it. So, and I always loved journaling. Like, I like the thought of being able to journal, writing out everything, but it just becomes gobbledygook and I don't force myself into it too much.
yeah, no, never force yourself into something. And sometimes gobbledygook is just what you need. And also, I think that the same stuff that you process through journaling, like it sounds like for you, looking for like those little signs on your 30-minute drive to work can be that same just experience of like, what am I seeing and what am I thinking about it, or maybe even setting up your house with intention. You could be thinking about, what, like, why might I want this here? For what reason? Like, what's led me to
Mhm.
wanting this thing? And like you can still process the same stuff that you would process in journaling in other ways.
Hmm,
So just figuring out what works for you.
that works. Never thought about
Yeah.
it that way. So,
Yeah. I talk about journaling all the time, but I don't do it as much as people might guess. I don't know if people guess that, if people sit around thinking, I wonder how much their journals. I
I've thought that. I think you journal every single day, like every minute that you have a break from the kids. I
yeah.
can totally see you journaling.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't journal that much. I mean, but when I journal in like spurts, like for me, it'll just be maybe 3 sentences. It's not long, where I'll just
Oh,
say
okay.
like, this is a feeling. It says nothing about me and I'm going to let it go. And like, I'll just write that down. But then I go out, like I'll go for a hike or maybe like clean a part of my house or fold like do something
Mhm.
active, to like, I get the thought out on paper and then I do something with my body to
Hmm.
get my brain and my hands off of it. And that's kind of how it works for me. Anyway.
Well, the way you talk about it, it sounds like you do it all the time. So I'm sure a lot of members think the same thing as me.
Well, now everybody knows. I don't journal as much as people would think. That's the podcast we should do, is like, what assumptions do you make about us? And then we can verify how true or not true they are.
Truth or dare.
Yeah. I feel like in some cases, truth would also be a dare, though, like, I dare you to tell the truth.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, so for people who might be listening to this, who are like you described, maybe they're feeling really pulled and like just really work a lot, and like, how do I even relax enough to make time for this, or it feels overwhelming, or just kind of not sure, and maybe they're thinking about joining one of our classes, or just signing up for a free thing, but aren't really sure about that either. What kind of wisdom do you have for people looking to bring some magic to their life, and what like advice might you have?
Definitely trust your gut. Lead with intuition. If you're seeing one of the free classes pop up and you think you're not interested, just sign up for it. Just dive into it, because you'll be suckered in, and you're just going to end up wanting more classes and more and more and more. So, I mean, I think that happens to all of us. That would be the first one. Trust your gut, your instinct. Go with what you're interested in. If you're, you've been raised Christian, but you believe in something, go with what you believe in. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. The great thing about us magical people is we all believe in something different, but we all have this, it's the same way of thinking. Like, we don't, it makes me think about what is it? The rule of three, no harm, is it the witch's reed?
Yeah.
But something like that. We don't want to cause harm to anybody. We just want to make our lives better. So just going with what you believe, it most likely will be accurate. Just go with it. Just let it pull you. Go in the direction you need to go. If you swerve and take a side road and go into, the forest or something, stay there, investigate, enjoy it. It's just open your mind to broaden your horizons. It's amazing where this path will take you, and all the people you will meet, all the people you will talk to, and how it just makes you more aware of what is out there and what is sadly going on in this world.
Yeah, it really brings us people together. I think just this idea of we're all different, but we have this one thing in common. And I think that is really powerful today, to be with people you wouldn't normally be with.
Yeah. And it literally makes you, like, people who talk, they vent or something. Everybody has or is going through that exact same issue, whether it's just a little twist of the words or something. It's almost exactly the same. Everybody is experiencing the same thing. It's overwhelming, but I feel like it's an exhilarating feeling to notice that about us all, is that even though we're all different, we all are the same.
Yes.
In a way.
Yep. Yeah. We're not that different. Believe me, we've thousands of people have done our programs by this point, and I can say with 100% confidence, we are not that different. Yeah. Just from all that we've heard over the years, we are not that different.
Oh no, you're not. No.
All right. we're going to end this with our little game of this or that. So I'll ask you a few things and you got to tell me this or that.
Okay.
And let me just write them down. Otherwise I forget. And, all right. I think I already started it and then I did not finish the list, but I think we're good. So just tell me which you prefer. So we can, this is where the division comes in. Who chooses what? Sets us apart.
Where your true friends lie.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
It's always the first one I ask. You know, I love taco pizza though. So you put the taco stuff on a pizza.
I've never had that, but it does not sound good to me. It's
my gosh,
I love tacos. So, but I'm a sucker for pizza. I can eat pizza every day, 24/7.
I had pizza last night. I had cheeseburger pizza last night. It was
interesting. Was it delicious?
It was delicious.
Oh, that's good.
That's one thing Connecticut's got is good pizza. All right. And no shortage of different kinds either. All right. Our next one. Tarot or oracle cards?
Oh. You know, I think the first time we did this, I would have said oracle, but knowing what I know now, I would go with tarot.
Ooh, a shift in the winds there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I feel like the tarot can be more accurate than oracle.
Yeah.
So,
they're different. I mean, they're very similar, but they're also very different.
Yeah.
You know, different purposes.
So, yep.
All right. Are you a night person or a morning person?
I'm a neither.
I work 12-hour shift person. I don't know.
I wake up in the morning every day on the clock before my alarm goes off. I don't get to sleep in. Like I've never slept in my life. But I want to be a night person. I hate mornings, but I like sleeping. So it's like I'm both.
Yeah.
I'm neither. I'm both. It's a terrible war because I'm always tired. I'm a walking zombie is what I am.
I get that.
Yep.
I do get that. Are you a person, do you prefer the woods or water? Like a big body of water versus being in the woods?
Woods.
Yeah, that's a tough one, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but are you a person who gets your biggest like thoughts and ideas in moments of silence or when you're doing things? I know. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's an interesting question. I don't really have silence. My internal thoughts are always going. I'm having dialogues constantly in my head, it's terrible. I would say while I'm, I guess, doing stuff, I have my epiphany moments. I never have a moment of silence. And if I do, it's while I'm sleeping, but even then it's crazy in there. I can't.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Movement helps me create calm in my mind, but I got to really be doing something like yard work. Like I got to be like in it.
Yeah. If I'm focusing on something, I can definitely, I think that's the moment. Cause I'm focusing on that. It's the quiet moment. Yeah.
Yes. I get that too. All right. 3 more. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Ugh, coffee. I hate tea, but I want to like tea.
We should start a subset of the Sisters Enchanted for people who want to like tea, but just don't.
And taste all teas.
Yeah. There's so many people because we do so much with herbs, so we talk about using tea and the folks who are I just can't do it.
I just can't.
Not for
I
everybody.
even was thinking, okay, I'm going to have a nice hot beverage while I'm having this conversation with you. And I was like, what will I have? Hot chocolate or tea? And I was looking at my tea because I was like, I'll have tea. And I was looking at my tea and I'm like, I don't want anything. It's all gross. No, I don't even want hot chocolate. I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I thought the same, but my issue was because I'm at my office, which is outside of my home now, and I didn't want to dirty a mug that I'd have to wash before I went home. That's how lazy I am. I was like, if I use this, it's gonna sit here in the sink.
For God knows how long.
Yeah, until I come back. So I think I'll just go without.
That's also gone through my mind a few times.
That's how lazy I am. In case anyone was wondering.
Oh man.
All right, two more. Do you prefer like tumbled nice crystals, that you would buy from a store, or just picking up stones outside or river stones, or like in the land or whatever? So like naturally found elements, or like the pretty ones. Which do you prefer to have around? That's a tough one.
The shiny ones.
Shiny.
But that one's hard because if you're going out on a stroll and you're at the beach or something and you see rocks and they're absolutely gorgeous and they're calling you, like those, I want those, so I'm going to pick them up. But the tumbled ones that are so nice and shiny and twinkly and sparkly, I love them. They're so pretty and they make me happy.
Yeah. I get that. All right, our last one. Do you prefer like incense, or like aromatherapy through like oils or flowers or smells of another kinds, like incense or anything else?
It would be anything else, just because incense gives me migraines. And I don't like my migraines. So I like the thought of incense, but I stay away from it as best as I can because I will become sick if I have incense. So
I ask that question because
oils.
It's another one of those things where people see everybody like using smoke or like these big bundles of herbs or incense. And then some people, like I can use smoke in very quick doses. So like I light the incense, do like a wave around, and then put it out.
Yeah.
And beyond that, and I don't get, like, maybe because I've not experienced it long enough either, but it will, after just a few minutes, I'll start to get like my head will hurt and like I'll feel a little just nauseous in my body. And so that's why I ask this, because it's one of those things where people think like, oh, I have to do this. And it's like, no, there's a very large chunk of us who just prefer you not to light the incense.
Yeah. I'll do the same thing. If I'm, cleansing something and I need the specific incense, I'll burn it for a few minutes, cleanse it, do the swooshy thing, and then I'm done. I burn it, I stick it out, and I just save it for next time because I just can't. I can't. So
one good swoosh and out.
It did its purpose. It's good.
Yeah, I'm the same. Well, thank you so much for joining to chat today. It was great catching up with you.
It was fantastic catching up with you.
And anybody listening to this, if you have any questions or want to learn any more about what we do here, you can head over to thesistersenchanted.com, where you'll find all of our resources and programs and everything there. And you can, maybe come hang out in the same communities where Kristine pops in every now and then with a hello and a question. So thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you. It was a blast. I loved it. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast.